goes and it does an analysis on what appeared there for that word. And it says, this is the content that you need to create that will beat these 20 competitors.
You're listening to the Streamline Success Show. I'm your host, Dagmar Schult. In this podcast, we talk about how AI and automation can help busy coaches like you simplify their online businesses. We share practical advice that you can start using immediately. Hello and welcome. Today I have a very special guest with me, Joseph Kahn. Joseph is an award-winning marketer, over 25 years of experience, and he is a dedicated SEO expert and passionate about his clients' success. So that's why I love to have you here. And he's also the founder and CIO and CTO of HumGem. And today we will explore how AI can transform your coaching and or expert business and save you time and boost your marketing. And Joseph will share his top tips and tools and strategies to help you achieve your goals. So welcome to the show, Joseph.
Yay! A lot of fun.
Yeah, so great to have you here.
For sure.
Joseph, can you share a little bit about your background and what led you to found HumGem? And by the way, I love that name. So how did you come up with the name?
Yeah. Awesome. Yes, as you had mentioned, you said 20 some odd years. I literally started in 1994. So that's going on 30 years, I believe, since my first web page that I put online, which was a company that I was working for. I was a warehouse packer, shipper, ship boxes out the back door, that kind of role. And I had long hair. I was a drummer for a rock band. That's why I was in the back, because I was looking like a hooligan, basically. But one of the clients said, or one of their clients at the time said, hey, does anybody know how to do a website or a web page? Because this is back in 1994, because this was like beginning stuff. And nobody knew. And I'm like, I want to learn. Like, I knew that I didn't want to be a packer and shipper all my life. So I'm like, I want to learn. And they're like, okay. So they bought me a laptop, and I went out and got a Borders book, HTML 1.0. And by the end of the weekend, I had a web page up.
Wow.
Oh, and I did it from scratch. HTML, the title tag, the header, all that kind of. That's how I learned it. So I know I'm really technical SEO'd, but I learned from scratch from the very beginning with the HTML 1.0 book. And it was about this big, it was thick. And then by the end of the weekend, I had clients, because as soon as they said, oh, who built this? Oh my God, who did this? Who built this? And they're like, this guy in the warehouse, he built it. All of a sudden, I started building web pages back in 1994. And as they say, the rest is history, because in 1997, I came across one of my friends who just so happened to be working for Microsoft. And they're like, we need a web guy. And so I started working for them in 1997 and won the 1999 Microsoft Project of the Year, which was a web project for Cox Communications. So I started doing website stuff for billion-dollar companies. I did the Coca-Cola Enterprises website. I worked with Panda Express. I've done all these big major stuff, Cox Communications. And even in 2003, John Maxwell, I became his CIO, who is a top leadership guru, and won the 2003 Microsoft Pinnacle Award, implementing Commerce Server for John Maxwell, where we took him from zero to over $250,000 a month in revenue using e-commerce. And this was back in 2003. And then I just kept going. Like, I was like, let's keep going. And in 2010 was the Internet Marketer of the Year at the Worldwide Summit. And then I disappeared. And the reason why I disappeared is because I got into Bitcoin, and I took all my Bitcoin winnings in 2013 and went to Berklee College of Music, got my music degree, and tried to be a rock star. And with that said, the pandemic hit and just swept the idea of being in public out from under me. And so I'm like, oh crap, I can't be a rock star because you can't be in public, and you can't. So we were on the tail, and we had got an album. My guitar player was the guitar player for Katy Perry. So we had a Grammy Award winning guitar player. We were going to do good because I got a Berklee College degree, because that's what they said that I had to have in order to get to the talent that I needed to get the Grammy. And so I ended up getting auditioned for this band. We cut an album, cut a record, everything. Label dropped us as soon as the COVID hit and all this stuff was going on because they couldn't do tours. They couldn't put anybody on the road. So they cut back. And so we got cut. And that's when my son in 2020, my older son, he's about 28, said, let's go into SEO. That's what he said. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, you're not doing anything right now. You've got all these skills in internet marketing and all this stuff. Let's start a new digital agency in SEO. And so I'm like, okay. And the very first client was none other than Chuck Jones, Bugs Bunny right there. Since I had him as a contact back in 2007, I said, we need a client and who's got a ton of things that we can work with. Cartoons, Bugs Bunny. We ended up getting over 10,000 #1 search engine rankings with them. That's why we ended up starting to train and teach everybody. So that's what we've been doing over the last 5 years since the pandemic is now HumJam. And HumJam was my son and I starting. And HumJam was what musicians do when they're coming up with new stuff. They basically are humming like, huh, da, 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 or they're like coming up with an idea and they're humming it. And that's what a HumJam is, where they're brainstorming with humming until they got an idea, and then they record it, and they record it so they can go back to their instrument and try it out on their instrument. That's why we named the company that, because that's what we do with SEO. We HumJam all the time, meaning we're constantly thinking, what would the intentions be? What would we're coming up with ideas, and then we're going, let's play that back. Let's put that in a rhythm. Let's put that on a thing. And so that's where HumJam came from. It's an actual word. The slang word for HumJam is melodically coming up with ideas by humming. And that's what we do with SEO or content. We're thinking, what is the prospect thinking or humming or doing or whatever? And let's come up with some ideas that go in alignment with them. And that's how we approach SEO. Meaning that's where we came up with harmonic blueprint, harmonic ranking factors. I took my musician philosophies and ideas and concepts, took all the technical background from Microsoft, from web building, all that kind of stuff, and created HumJam, which is creating harmonic blueprints that rank for their clients in the local space, e-commerce space, whatever it is. We create content that ranks using these principles.
That is super.
I know that's a lot. I tried to get it done in 5 minutes.
That's okay. It's super impressive. I really love the stories. Yeah, you did a lot of things.
A lot, yeah.
Super successful with everything. I have the impression. So that's awesome. Yeah, so I wanted actually to ask you what sets you apart from other agencies, but you already said that most likely because how you approach SEO is really different, what I can see.
Yeah, and the main thing that we do that's a little bit different is, and again, music concepts, because a lot of it goes around the same types of stuff, is the focal point. We call it the focal point, and that's that thing that everybody harmonizes with. If you're in a group and you're like, oh, we got to sing this song, somebody goes, la, and then everybody gets in harmony, and now the focal point, right? And so when we're dealing, the thing that's different about our organization is that if we're going to take you on and we're going to get together with you and we're going to harmonize with you, we're going to say, what's your focal point? Because it's different for every client. We've gotten so many different clients with so many different things that they want. And if we don't get that right, then we're going to mess up. We're never going to get it right. Your harmony is going to always be off. It's not going to be correct unless you get with. So that's a thing that differentiates us as an agency, is right off the bat, we're going to be in harmony with you. We're going to make sure that whatever you're singing and saying and doing, we're harmonizing and amplifying. Again, harmony, amplification. We amplify that and identify the wrong notes and get rid of that. You know what I mean? That's what optimization is about. That's what SEO optimization. And whether you're drumming, whether you're recording music or whatever, you're getting rid of all those frequencies that don't match. And you're harmonizing and making stronger the ones that do around the focal point. And that's what we do, I believe, differently than any other agency out there, is we get in harmony with your focal point and build everything else from there. The whole campaign grows from that.
That's huge. I think that I would express it differently. I would say being authentic, and you help me being authentic, which means
Yeah.
being in harmony with myself, my values, and what I'm
Yeah.
doing. I love that. That's
Yeah,
huge.
for sure.
And how did you get in contact with AI and getting AI helping you with that?
Interestingly enough, I've been taught funny true story is I created a one of the first world's chat bots back in 2003 for called Access Health Partners. And keep in mind, I'm a previous Microsoft developer, okay? And who came up with Chat GPT is a Microsoft developer. And I came up with a chat engine, LLM is what they're called, back in 2003 that would chat with you about health insurance questions. So it would never tell a lie. It couldn't steer you wrong. You could ask any health insurance question. Does it cover this? Does that cover that? Whatever, doctor this, doctor that. I created a chat GPT back in 2003, okay, that would answer doctor questions, stuff like that. All an LLM is a database of information that basically pulls in an analytical way, if then and else algorithm of those words. GPT, all it is the internet data in its database. And so you basically are querying that internet data. And then in today's day and age, they now can do real time pull from real time data. So that's all an LLM is. So AI is nothing other than the data that's already there. That's why you can pull my Twitter account and make an AI of me, take content of you, make an AI of you. And it's not really making you or replicating you. It's just taking a quality of you, like your content, and then saying, this is like Dagmar. This is like Joseph. But in reality, it's not them. So AI, people are calling it artificial intelligence. It is not. That is not what it is. The LLM, Chat GPT, any of that is not artificial and it's not intelligent. What makes it intelligent is what you do with it, just like any other knowledge. Okay. So because it can hallucinate, it can spit out wrong stuff. It's not always accurate. It's AI in what I've seen. And especially when ChatGPT came out, say 2 years ago, it was really over the last years when it hit hard, but it came out 2 years ago. And I started posting about it over 2 years ago, and nobody, in fact, it started, the first wave was against it. Okay. The first wave was against it. I got ridiculed. I got made fun of. I got told I was bad, all these kinds of things. And then all of a sudden, it hit this critical mass where then all of a sudden everybody had it. Like and it skyrocketed, like, brand. And if you would have launched a course during that time period, you would have gotten instant amount. That's why people became insta famous, all this kind of stuff. But right now, that opportunity is gone, meaning that was a spike. I met with the founder and creator of BuzzSumo, and we showed that if you were trying to launch a Chat GPT thing right now, the market is up here and the interest is down here. So the interest is now low, meaning the AI interest is now low at a super low. It's not high anymore. So that whole idea that AI is going to take our jobs and all this kind of stuff is false. What AI is a tool. What
Sure.
I told everybody 2 years ago is this is a tool that you're going to have to learn, just if you're learning Surfer, or learning Microsoft Word, or learning, how to create ClickUp documents, or it's another tool that's going to make you faster, better, quicker, etc. Just like you've got, instead of using an axe now, you've got a chainsaw. So what it is, instead of artificial intelligence, I'm the intelligent one. It's the tool. And if you can tell it and design it, and that's how we use AI, is we are very specific. We know how to get the results out of it, just like any other tool. I can give a chainsaw to my granddad over here, and he's going to hurt himself. But I can give it to a master lumberjack, and he can have the whole forest cut down in 5 minutes, right? The difference is the lumberjack who knows how to use the chainsaw versus the chainsaw itself. And that's AI. That's Chat GPT. That's all the tools that's coming out, is that it's just a bunch of people running around with chainsaws. And in reality, it's how you use the tool. It's not the tool. That's why the interest is really low right now, is because you have to know how to use it to get the results from it. Everybody pitched results. A chainsaw will cut like crazy. Chainsaw can do like crazy. But making a big emphasis about how great chainsaws are didn't cut a bunch of trees down. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And the same way for AI is that it's a chainsaw, but unless you know how to use it correctly, it's just a chainsaw. And so it's just an LLM, which is a database that you can interact with. And it's got some tools that'll allow you to pull it out or interact with it. And it's definitely a game changer for coaching. I know you said coaching. Coaches, one of my biggest coaches is the guy who create Heroic Coach. I don't know if Brian Johnson. He wrote the book Ariate. It was just released as a bestseller. It's about stoicism or whatever. But he comes now on his coaching calls and he gives answers to ChatGPT. He says, look, I had this idea. Somebody asked me this question and I went to ChatGPT and it gave this answer. And here's my thoughts. Meaning he uses the ChatGPT answers as great critical thought that you wouldn't have had without it. So he teaches his coaching skills and then leverages his knowledge about how to ask ChatGPT and get the data out of it and then give you something that you couldn't have got on your own. And that's killer when I see that.
That's how I use it too for idea creation. So for me, it's really hard to start with a blank sheet. And if I give it to ChatGPT, I get an answer. And that is something I can build on, can make it my own and can change it and whatever I do with it. But it's much easier than to sit there and coming up with something from plain air.
Yeah, it's definitely a great, if you're staring at a blank page, to get it going. Like it'll help you get stuff going. And we use a number. What we're using lately is not, I don't use ChatGPT anymore per se. I use a tool that asks 4 engines at the same time. Meaning I ask a question, but it now asks ChatGPT 4, it asks Claude, it asks Gemini, it asks them all the same question all at one time. And it interacts with them all as if they're all 4 separate bots. And it gives me, and the cool thing is I can see they all give different information.
Yes,
believe it or not. Yeah, from Claude. So if you're using them all at the same time, there's a tool that lets you chat. It's called Mini Chat, where you chat with many of them all at the same time. And then you can pull down the best of all 4, which is usually what it does. The best, and so that's allowed us to test it to know the best copywriter is Claude. If you're wanting to write great copy, the best researcher is GPT-4, meaning there's the researchers. So they don't all play the same. And with that said, we use AI tools that leverage those engines with their own algorithmic process, such as Surfer for SEO and some other tools like Surfer, like ScaleNut, and different AI tools that write AI content uses another algorithm to pull that in, an SEO algorithm. It's throwing that in there, like Surfer SEO. I don't know if you've heard of Surfer SEO, but it's a on-page writing tool which pulls the data and then rewrites it based on these SEO metrics. So it's taking an AI tool, but then it's making it even better by leveraging this other data on top of it. So you could either do that. I used to do that by hand with ChatGPT. Now I just use the tool that's got that functionality built into it, and it leverages 4.0, but it's using its own algorithm to make that data even richer. So that's what we do, meaning we take the data and then use other tools to make that data better and enrich it better, like the SEO tool, or even your own prompts or adding your own flair into it.
Yeah, that is so important because when I look outside there on social media, I often see posts and I can see from the distance that was written with ChatGPT because of the structure and because of the use of words too.
Yeah.
So
and ChatGPT. And these some of these tools actually you can gear down and say, I only want this to be 7th grader or 8th grader or 10th grade. ChatGPT off the bat writes for like college. It's, if you read anything from it, it's way over your head. And I always say no yapping also, because it always tries to sell. It's constantly selling. So the content, since so many marketers have trained ChatGPT, whenever you ask it to write content, it's trying to sell you on it.
Yeah, it's very hypey. I saw
very hypey. Yeah, very hypey. You have to say no hyping, no yapping, no selling. Give me this answer, no hyping, no yelling, no selling. You have to tell it that now.
Yes.
But again, we use tools that have a gear down that chat to say, make it this level of grade, make it where it says professional, funny, humorous, where you can, like Grammarly, where you can say, I want to make this more humorous. I want to make this lighter. I want to make this to 10th grade, especially if you're using local, like service oriented business like plumbing and roof repair. You want to be around the 10th grade or lower mark. You don't want to be in the college educated level. You want to be 10th grade. So that's why these tools, you can say, that's why I don't use ChatGPT anymore. I use these tools that they write like Surfer, where they will hone it down to a better prompt, basically. The prompt is built into the tool. The tools leverage the API and then they add their prompt to it and it makes it a little cleaner and better.
That's cool. You talked about that you need to know how to use your chainsaw
Yeah.
before. So, what would you recommend for coaches and experts? Which tools to use so that they know they need to be acquainted with this tool? They cannot learn every tool out there, of course.
Yeah, one that I would highly recommend anybody, okay, anybody who's wanting to play in a better way than say ChatGPT, it's probably a great deal. I think right now you can get it on AppSumo for a lifetime deal. It's called Merlin, and Merlin's been around for a long time. It's a iPhone app, it's a Chrome extension, it's a plugin. It basically, but it'll allow you, it'll give you credits or whatever, but it'll allow you to use the web extensions. You can use Claude, you can use, meaning it'll allow you to choose which engine you want to use. It also has prompts. It has all kinds of, it'll even interact with your email. It'll create, what do they call those? Doppelgangers of accounts. So if you're on YouTube and you want to make a doppelganger of the person, it'll do that. And then you can chat with it. But it's called Merlin, and I believe it's either a small monthly fee, like $9 a month, but there's a lifetime on AppSumo, I think, if you check out that deal. And it's got ChatGPT, it's got all these it'll real-time search, it'll interact, again, code copy on your email, it'll write a Facebook post for you, it'll do all kinds of crazy stuff, and it's just a ChatGPT plugin, basically, and it's the best one I've found. That if I want ChatGPT on my phone, Merlin's on my phone. Meaning cool. the same in my history of what I'm doing on my desktop is also on my phone too. So if I'm at a conference, I'm like, oh yeah, remember this chat thing I did? I just look at my phone because it's right here on my phone. So Merlin interacts or is integrated with all your devices and stuff too. That's what I'd recommend. Over chat, it's about the same price or cheaper than ChatGPT, and it's more portable. That's what I'd recommend.
Yeah, thank you. I will definitely check this out.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. It's really cool.
Yeah. And coming back to SEO, how did AI change your approach to SEO?
Drastically and massively. And what I mean by that is now when I do keyword research, I use ChatGPT or use the mini chat or use an engine and ask it. It gives the best keywords that are out there. Keep in mind that ChatGPT or AI has researched the entire internet, meaning the whole internet is in its database. So all the articles, all the content, all the everything. So when you ask and say, acting as an SEO professional, it's going to pull from its SEO professional database and say, or not even acting as that, say acting as a homeowner. It's going to pull from all the homeowner database and say, what would you be typing in the search engine if you were looking for a junk removal company, fill in the blank, whatever the search, if you were looking, what would you put in if you were a homeowner? What would you be putting in that's super juicy, gonna excite you, gonna like leverage all the words you possibly can and give me 50 of these potential searches. You don't ask for it, you don't go, that's got this criteria, it's got that criteria. It's not an SEO tool, so it doesn't know the criteria, but what it does know is humanity. Okay, so it does know what potential homeowners could be typing in if they're looking for roof repair from somebody who's safe, somebody who's caring, somebody who's put these characteristics in there, and then say, give me 50 keywords. And then I take those keywords and throw it into Google Planner and see if there's any traffic. And I will tell you this, and anybody listening to this is as easy as it is. If you have Merlin or ChatGPT or whatever, go to ChatGPT and say, I'm looking for a client that's trying to build his local coaching business or build her local coaching business. I'm looking for a client. What are they typing in the search engine that's got volume, that's got traffic? And give me 50 of these. You take those 50, throw it into Google Planner, it's free, and it'll tell you this had 20 searches, that had 20 searches, and who's difficult, who's not. And I will tell you every single time I've done this, and I've done it live many times, we've always found words that we could rank for next week and get traffic for next week.
Wow, that's huge.
That's how quick and easy it is. Why? Because everybody was using SEMrush, Ahrefs, all these tools, but they're not asking the AI come up with something different than nobody else is thinking. You're basically now using AI in the database and going, what are potentials here? That's a totally different thought process than all the other guys and girls who are out there creating content. So it shows the lowest hanging fruit. And so that's what I do every single time now. For every client we take on, we have at least 10 to 20 pages we create that gets you traffic within the week. Wow. And why? Because we've used ChatGPT to find juicy keywords that nobody else is ranking for. And then we use AI to create that content. We say, based on this user, based on their desires, now create me a piece of content that matches the competition that will fulfill what this person wants, and then put that up and it ranks and gets traffic. So that's our process. So we harmonize with that, get ChatGPT to tell us what it thinks would be good keywords to go after. Then we put that in a planner, see which ones are the best. Then we go, this is the content we need to create. And these are the keywords we need to create it around.
Wow.
And that's what we do with AI. So AI has completely changed the process. So we use AI to hone that copy in, because it'll write the copy and tell you how to rank for that copy. And then we use AI to find what that person may be looking for. I don't even need to know homeowners or need to know their problems at all. I just need to know what they're looking for. And then I throw that into ChatGPT. It already knows all their psychology. It already knows all of those details. I don't know, but it does. So that's why I just tell it to come up with it.
And how do you then create the content? Do you come up yourself with a topic that includes these keywords, or do you say it content?
I'm going to make it super easy. You take the keyword that you found. Okay. So you tell ChatGPT, I'm looking for this person. It gives you a keyword. You take that keyword and you put it in this other tool, whether it's Surfer, ScaleNut, or this other tool, and it will tell you, based on the top 20 results of that keyword that you targeted, that you found that you're going to use, it goes and it does an analysis on what appeared there for that word. And it says, this is the content that you need to create that will beat these 20 competitors. So it'll tell you, it'll give you a brief of what it is. Now with Surfer, with ScaleNet, with any of these tools, there's another button that says create this content for me. You could either create it and check off all the blocks and make sure you got the content written yourself. Or you could say, use an AI credit, because they sell you AI credits, create this for me, and it'll go, and it takes that analysis of the top 20 results and it creates the new page for you. And then you publish that instantly. So you can go from idea to published on a web page I can do it within 20 minutes.
Wow. That's huge. So that is a huge
because in Surfer is automatically connected to WordPress. So you can publish right from Surfer. You can put in the keyword, it creates the content that matches. You can instantly press a button and it will automatically post to your WordPress. And then you're live. And then you go back to Google and you say, index this page, and you're done. And now within the week, you'll start getting traffic for that. If you did that correct, which again, 20-minute process, you've created an asset that's fishing on low-hanging fruit, is what we call it.
That's interesting. So I was procrastinating building up my new website.
Don't.
Quite a while. Now I know how to do it.
Yes, exactly. Go ask ChatGPT for some keywords, put the keywords into a writing tool, and then bam, and now you got your content. Publish it, post it, and just wait for the traffic.
That's cool.
It is.
I
It
will
is. I
definitely do
made it
that.
sound super simple, but we do training on this. Like we teach people how to do this, but
Oh, really?
it's fairly easy from that process as long as you have the tools
Mm-hmm.
and as long as you're like, and sometimes on training calls, I've walked through this process where you see me doing it and go, whoa. Because watching it done is you're just like, whoa, that's so cool to see it done and how easy it is to actually do it with AI.
That's cool.
So AI has changed everything. Like literally, I used to write content. I don't write content anymore. Now I look over content and edit content. I don't write it from scratch anymore.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So
So
how can people learn more about you and about these processes, how you do that?
yes, we started a group and it's not fully kickstarted, meaning we're going to put live calls and live training. But if you want to get my toolkit that's got kind of these main harmonic principles, talking about the focal point, all that kind of stuff, is at marketingoptimizersedge.com. If you go to marketingoptimizersedge.com, fill that out, it'll put you on my broadcast list, but it'll also get you in my school community
Cool.
where you get that free resource, connect with the community. And we're going to be launching weekly calls. We're going to be doing some training where we'll show some of these things that we're just talking about live and show it and show the training and stuff like that. We're going to cover all these types of things in that group coming up within the next couple of weeks. We're going to be I think you're participating in some of the school
Nice.
launch stuff that we got going,
Yeah.
but we're going to be getting that kickstarted also this month. So marketingoptimizersedge.com is the name of the school community. And that's how you can get more information
Yeah.
about it. And our free toolkit, I've got 7 videos of about 15 minutes of training on all this already there if you go grab it.
Cool. Yeah, I will do. I'm pretty excited about that. And
Awesome.
I'm sure my audience too. And I will put that all into the show notes and a description and everything
Cool.
so they will get it.
You can always find me at josephskahn.com and anything with Joseph and S and Kahn from YouTube to Facebook to everything, that's me. So
Cool.
Instagram, Joseph S. Kahn, YouTube, just josephskahn.com. And there's an S in there because Joseph Kahn is already famous. He's the DJ for Taylor Swift. So it's not like I can compete against that name.
Okay, cool.
So you got to throw the S in there. Joseph S. Kahn. Without the S, I'm a nobody. So you got to put the S in there.
That's cool.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Actually,
see you on the edge, on the
yeah,
optimizer's edge.
yeah. Actually, the name Kahn is quite German, so we have it a
Oh,
lot in
okay.
Germany. And a bakery across the street, the owner is called Johann Kahn. Johann
Uh-huh.
is translating to John, so it would be John Kahn.
Oh, nice.
So
Gotcha.
funny.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, love it. Okay, is there anything else you want to say to my audience, what we didn't cover during the call, or are you good?
The main thing is from the SEO part of it is what I want to say is a part of a complete balanced breakfast. And what I mean by that is it's a part of a complete picture. And to do SEO right or do digital marketing right or do any of this right, we've got to do it all and act like a real business. And what a real business would do is they would do it all, meaning they would be in the directory, they would be on Facebook, they would be in SEO, they would be in yellow pages, they would be, meaning a real business acts like a real business. They don't fake it. They don't try to do something they're not. So that's all we say is if you're being a real business, you got to connect all the dots. Okay, all the harmony dots. That includes SEO, that includes social media, that includes school, that includes your community, that includes your LinkedIn page, all that kind of stuff. All that's got to be connected. So you got to have a good social, got to have a good SEO, got to have a good paid situation. You bring all those together and Google will notice you and so will everybody else. That's my advice.
That's cool. So I don't know if this is the right term in English. It's an accord.
Yes.
Music. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's how we teach it as a chord.
Okay, cool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Love
Yeah,
that.
you got it because you got 1, 3, and 5. You got to connect them all together, and then you have a chord, and then you amplify that, and that's why everybody comes to listen.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly. Thank you
Yeah,
very much, Joseph. I really enjoyed this call. It was really great. And
thank you.
I guess we will have you on the show again. So thank you for this one.
Cool,
A wonderful day.
awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to the Streamline Success Show. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, and to get access to today's show notes, head over to community.marketingunraveled.com. See you on the next episode.